Hello, welcome to Minerva Studio. We specialize in fiber arts. Today we're going to create this little pumpkin wine charm together. Let's look inside our kit. We have a brochure that tells about our products and workshops. Four different colors of wool. Your kit might have a different color combination. Felting mat, 2 felting needles, a coarse one and a fine one. The coarse one is marked with a darker color and the fine one with a lighter color. And a cute little envelope with wine chime hardware. And they look like this. There are 4 of them. Let's put everything aside and start felting. For this project, I'm going to use my own felting mat. I'm going to take some of the blue wool. I don't need all of it. The pumpkin will be too big. And I also need to leave a little bit to make the stem and the slices for another pumpkin. We have four wool colors for 4 pumpkins, but as you see, each pumpkin is made of 2 different colors. So we need to leave a little bit to use in the creation of another pumpkin. Let's see if this is big enough. I use about maybe 2/3 for the pumpkin and I leave 1/3. Even that can be too much, depending on how big you want your pumpkin to be. So first we roll the wool really tightly to remove as much of the air pockets as we can. And then once we are happy with the density, we're going to start with our thick, coarse needle to poke the wool. Gently poke the wool from every direction. We are using the coarse needle at this stage because there are still quite a few air pockets and it will be really hard to felt the wool with a fine needle at this point. Once it's a bit denser, we can move on to the finer tip. Once you reach the firmness you feel happy with, you can just start building the rest of the pumpkin. We don't want this to be too firm or too soft. Imagine pressing into a banana and try to get to a firmness that resembles that. If you do it too firm, then you won't be able to attach your other wool to create the slices and the stem. It will be just too hard to felt another wool into this one. If you do it too soft, then it will start fraying and won't keep its shape. And the shape we are trying to achieve here is spherical, a bit squished at the top and at the bottom, like a pumpkin, but feel free to create your own shape. Now I'm going to move to the slices. I typically do 5 sliced pumpkins for the wine charms, just given the size. And I think I want to use the color pink, but feel free to use any of the other colors you have in your kit. If you'd like, you can get inspiration from sports teams you support and create your pumpkins accordingly. I think that the pink and the blue shade I have here they work really well together. So we're going to take a sliver of the pink. Let's separate some and put it aside since we'll be using the rest of the pink to create another pumpkin. So just take a sliver, roll it between your fingers just to take the fuzz away, and then anchor one side of it, one tip of it to the top of the pumpkin. And now actually it's a good time to move to our finer needle and just push it in. Just secure the tip of the secondary color into the top of the pumpkin, like so. I'm changing the angle for you here so you can see. And then the other end of the secondary color should be secured into the bottom of the pumpkin. Any excess of wool you have, like here, you can either cut it or tuck it in. And then simply push the sliver into the pumpkin until you create a nice slice. Let me show you. Here we go. And you can make this slice as thick or as thin as you want. You can add a thicker line or a thinner line. If you don't like what you have done, you can always undo it. You can just use your needle to pull some of the fiber out, and if you use too much, or add some more on top of it if you feel you use too little. Now I'm going to continue creating my slices, so we can fast forward and then meet once all of our slices are ready. Okay, here we are. The felt we use in our kits, the wool we use in our kits is really good quality, so it felts pretty quickly and very nicely. Go. And now we're going to make the stem. Again, take a little bit of your pink, and it's not much, just start rolling it. I'd say more or less the size of a pistachio nut with the shell on it, I suppose. There we go, just roll it tightly. And then start felting. Roll it around so you felt it from every direction. It's important to felt the top, one side of the stem really nicely, so there are no pieces that are fraying. But the other side of the stem, you should leave it kind of loose. That way you can attach it to the pumpkin more easily. Rub it between your hands just to take the fuzz away. And when you're happy with it, we can start attaching it to the pumpkin. Now you need to be very gentle while attaching the stem to the pumpkin, because the pumpkin has hardened already from all the felting we've done so far while attaching the slivers that make up the slices. Attach it from all sides, gently pushing your needle in. Do not bend the tip of the needle, it will break. Just straight lines, follow straight lines. Doesn't mean that you come straight up from the top, you can come from the side, but do not bend the needle. When the stem is firmly attached, the next step is to make a hole for the hardware, the wine charm hardware to pass through. So let's do that. Let's take our needle. I'm just going to use the coarser needle for this, just to be safe, not to break it. And just pass your needle through the stem, like so. Just pass it through, all the way up. And just wiggle it around until you form a hole. Let's move it back and forth a few times. We're just trying to create a hole so we can pass the ring through it. I already see a hole forming there. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. All right, now let's attach it. And here we have a pumpkin wine charm. Let's attach it to our glass to test how it works. Perfect. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial.